Hello, I'm Oladu Kojaji, and I'm here to guide you on the fundamentals of Odoo. I represent Panoramic Synergy Enterprises, and what we do as an organization is to simply provide business and technology solutions to other organizations and businesses, regardless of where they are situated around the world. Now, Odoo Fundamentals series is an avenue for us to showcase one of the world's leading ERPs and to demonstrate to you how this wonderful software can be operated and used to your benefits. And please, wherever you're watching this video from, YouTube especially, please do well to like and follow our channel. Now, on one of the today's series, I'll be taking you on the basics of purchase module, and basically, purchase module just has about two procedures. That is the request for quotation and the purchase order. And I'll be taking you as well as purchase agreement, which is one of the functions that Odoo purchase module has given us the advantage over some other ERPs to be able to set up ourselves. And we'll also be taking you on the sales module basics. Now, because we are going to be taking you on the purchase module, it will be lovely for me to follow up with the sales module, and that way we can relate on a larger scale of business. Now, under the sales module, we have the quotations and we also have the sales order. And for some companies, they prefer to work with their sales team. So I'll be taking you on the sales team because Udo has an avenue for you to create a sales team for your company and database. I'll be using a live scenario of drop shipping to be able to explain the interrelations between the purchase and the sales model, as well as giving you a realistic scenario of how the drop shipping make use of the sales and purchase model and how you can be able to relate it to your business depending on what you buy and what you sell to your vendors and your customers. Now, drop shipping basically is a type of business where you don't have any of the products at hand. All you do is just connect the customer to the vendor without them meeting each other, as well as you not meeting any of them. All you need to do is just um, call, get a quotation for the buyer, your customer, and whatever you get from your customer, you go ahead to contact the vendor on their behalf to be able to purchase that item for them, whatever item they must have ordered for. Then you'll be able to create the process of them getting their goods and you collecting the payment and also paying the vendor. So the process is just from starting from sales to the purchase, then back from purchase to the sales. So I'm going to take you straight to your request for quotation, then purchase order. We also have purchase agreements here, which I'll explain to you in a few minutes' time. And we also have a tab for vendors. Now, the other tabs we have are products. Products has to do with what we are selling and what we probably would like to sell. We have an advantage of creating any type of product on Odoo, be it by services or goods. And in Odoo as well, we have product variants where you'll be able to configure the type of products that you might have. For instance, you might have different types of a particular product that you sell. Now, in Odoo, Odoo recognizes that you might want to configure your products in different ways, in different types. For instance, let's say you sell a particular product, let's say a phone. If you sell a mobile phone, you might have different types of that particular mobile phone in terms of maybe colors or the size. Now, Odoo allows you to differentiate in terms of your product without necessarily creating a different products from that. We also have the reporting section where it gives you an overview and analysis of your purchase, a configuration where you have your settings, your where you can create your project and your purchase agreement types, your products and the categories that might fall under the units of measure, how you want to measure some of your products. Now, some products can be measured in liquid in terms of liters, and some can just be in units in terms of ones and twos. Um, I'm going to take you straight to the process of creating a request for quotation and of validating a purchase order. So here we're going to click on the request for quotation. And as you can see, this is I'll call an existing database where we already have some items under the request for quotation. But what we're going to be doing for the sake of this demo is to create so that you can see the step I took and you too can follow in that path. Now we're going to create request for quotation. Now, in Odoo, whenever you find a bold line, Odoo requires you to fill that field compulsorily before it can be saved or validated in any form. And of course, whenever you want to create a request for quotation, you have to specify who the vendor is going to be. And for this instance, I'm going to choose Azure Interior. Now, the list that just came that popped up for the supplier section is from the contacts that must have been saved on your database. And subsequently, when I come up with another video for Odoo contacts, I'll be able to explain uh, or elaborate on how you can create contacts for your database. Now, compulsorily, you need to provide the name of the supplier. You have to provide the order deadline because for a request for quotation, basically is sending a document with the name of a product, asking the vendor how much they sell a particular product. That is all about request for quotation. It doesn't validate any movement of goods or exchange of payments or consideration. No. All it means is for a communication between you and the vendor to find out about the price of a particular product. Now we can fix in every other field here, the supplier reference, if you have a reference for a supplier created on your database. We also have a purchase agreement. I'll take you into the purchase agreement. This is where you might have a special agreement with a particular, with a particular vendor or customer, or a purchase agreement that might cut across so many vendors. For this purpose, we'll leave that blank. And I'm going to go straight to where we can add the product. Now, as you can see below here, all you can do is just add the product. So when you click on it, it's going to create a field for you to fill in. You have to fill in the product. You can see the description, the quantity, the UM. UM is, it means unit of measure, the unit price, the taxes, and the subtotal, which will do automatically calculate for you. Now, in under the products, you can see the little arrow there. When you click on it, if you have existing products, or if you have created your database with some products that you purchase or you deal in, Odoo will automatically bring them out in a list format. And I'm going to use this avenue to show you how to create a product on Odoo. So I'm going to type a new product, probably a Samsung phone. Now, because I don't have this product on my database, Odoo will suggest for me to create it or for me to create and edit it. Now I'm going to choose for me to create an edit so that I can configure these products. Now for the Samsung phone I want to create, I expect that it is going to be for sales as much as I'm going to buy it. So I'm going to click make sure these can be sold and can be purchased are checked. And if I were to check the can be expense box, it means that I might want to buy or get the products and use for myself in my business, whatever the case may be. I'm going to indicate that I'll be selling and I'll also be buying it. For the product type, I think it's a storable product. It could be only expensing it in my for my own use, but for the sake of my business, I'm going to be storing it. Then for the product category, it's easy for us to categorize our products under consumables or expenses or saleable. But for the sake of this demo, I'm going to leave it under all. That means it could be purchased, it could be sold, it could be sold, and eventually, if I want, I could come back and make it one of those I use and expense. Now, for the public price here is asking for your selling price, so what you probably might want to sell these products for. But this is only advisable to be filled or changed if the product price is a fixed price where you don't have to maneuver or change the prices from time to time. And if I were to input the price now, whenever I try to create a purchase order for this particular product, Odoo will automatically bring up that price for me. But for this demo, I'm going to leave that blank so that we can input it manually when we're creating our purchase order. Same thing goes for the cost of the product. You can leave that blank so that you will be able to manually fix it in. Then if there are any taxes that might be applicable on the purchase or sale of these products, you might have to configure your tax, and subsequently I might have to create another video to explain the accounting aspect of the taxes and the product and the using the accounting model. Um, I'm going to leave this at 15%. And if you notice, we have some other tabs there. We have sales, we have purchase, and we have accounting. I'm going to click on the sales has some series of options here that might are not necessarily or they're not compulsory for us to uh, fill in, but concerning invoicing, here it's asking us if we can invoice, we should invoice on this product based on prepaid or on a timesheet or tax or milestone, and this has to do with some probably the CRM model of Odoo, and it comes up these options come up because all the modules in Odoo are interrelated and they work in tandem with whatever is in the database. So it brings everything together for you to for transactions to be easy. Now under the purchase tab here as well, we have the supplier, the unit of measure, the price and deliver, and this is used if I were to add just one, if I had a particular vendor or supplier that I only want to be purchasing this item from, I could just add the person's contact here, and whenever I choose to buy or order these products from using a purchase order, Odoo will automatically bring up the name of the supplier, but and also include the price at which the supplier is willing to sell for you. For the purpose of this demo, once again, we will be leaving that space blank. But at least I've explained to you how this could work out for you in case you choose to have just one supplier for a particular item. Now, in the accounting section, Odoo might ask you to provide the income account, the expense account, and the price difference account in case you run a multi currency database. Now, what Odoo is trying to say is for you to create a different ledger just in case you want to specify a particular ledger where transactions carried out based on these products are recorded. Well, I don't think we have any need for that, but if you do have a need for that, you can go ahead to create any account as you see fit for your product. Now I'm going to, you can also add a picture of the product if you have any picture to add to it. I'm going to save this product now, and you notice that it's going to pop up here as one of the products that I want to purchase from Azure Interior. Now it has automatically filled in a quantity of one, and the unit price is still blank because I did not configure it with the product. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to impute the quantity as 5. And because this is a request for quotation, if I decide I'm going to send this RFQ, which is abbreviated to RFQ, if I decide I want to send this RFQ to Azure Interior, because of the nature of the documents that we are sending, Odoo will not include the unit price or the taxes or the subtotal, because all we need using this document is actually the price at which the vendor has agreed or is willing to sell this product. So I might as well just save this document, and there are two ways to, if you look at your right of your screen, you see that you have RFQ sent and purchase order. This is showing the status of this particular transaction. Now, if I were to send by mail or print this RFQ, the status is going to change from RFQ to RFQ sent, meaning that it has been sent to the vendor. So I can, if I have created this contact and imputed the mail attached to it, I can send it by email, and automatically it will be sent to the customers and the vendor's email address. And if the probably the vendor prefers a hard copy, I could as well print the RFQ. And for the purpose of this demo, again, I'm going to print RFQ. Once I print the RFQ, it's going to automatically download into my system in a PDF format. I'm going to open it now. Now this is the format. It shows your company address, your company logo, and your shipping address, that if you have where you want this product to be delivered to. You also have the name of the vendor and the address of the vendor as well. You have the product description, the expected date. Like I said, it just shows the description, the quantity, and the expected date. It doesn't show anything concerning the price of the product. So I'm going to take you back to the database now. So we can see the status has changed from RFQ to RFQ sent, and let's say, for instance, Azure Interior then sent us a reply that they are willing to sell these products at a unit price of 50,000 naira. We can go ahead to edit it and then impute the 50,000 naira. Now you can see Odoo automatically calculates the subtotal for you, and at the below the screen you can also find out that the tax that is applicable, whatever tax that you might have configured, is also added to the total price of this product. Now if you agree to the price and you are willing to buy whatever the product may be, you can then go ahead to confirm the order, and again, once you confirm the order, the status changes from RFQ sent to purchase order. Now we just completed the cycle of creating a purchase, which is from RFQ to the purchase order. Now usually when you create a purchase order in business or in a business environment, you should be expecting some sort of delivery for for the product. That means the vendor should get back to you delivering the product and all. And all you could do, you can decide to create a bill right from here. Creating a bill, meaning that you're ready to pay your vendor. And the only way you can create a bill is by making sure that you uh, confirm that the quantity of goods you've collected is also quantity of goods collected is tallies with what you must have received from your vendor. So what you receive from your vendor might not be up to it, but for the sake of this demo I might just include 5, which is what I ordered for. Now I've ordered for 5 and I can save this. Odoo has confirmed that I've received 5 and is also equal to what I've ordered for. I can then decide to create the bill. It will take me to another window where I can confirm the details and probably create an invoice for my uh, vendor. Now, if I were to be satisfied with what I have in front of me, the details from the quantity to the price and all other details, I can decide to confirm this, and it's going to create a bill for me where I can decide to register a payment and decide to pay my vendor, which is Azure Interior here. So if I decide to register the payment, it will ask me how I want to pay my vendor. Is it by bank or by cash? For the sake of this demo, I'm just going to go on and pay by bank. And also, if you have a recipient bank account where the amount is going to be paid to the vendor, if the end vendor provides it, you can include it, but as you can see, it is not in bold lines, and you can as well leave it blank. Once you create payments, Odoo will signify that this transaction is in payment. Now, this we just completed the full cycle of creating an RFQ to the purchase order and down to the payment of the order. Now, to be able to find out the purchase order that we just created, you can just come to our request for quotation and we can find out the purchase order that we just created, or we can go straight to the purchase order section and we still find it there, and the status is showing that it has been fully billed, meaning that we've paid our vendor. Now we could go into our agreements quickly. Under the purchase agreements, we have two types of purchase agreement that we might create for our vendors, namely, let's create an agreement now. So we can have a call for tender and also a blanket order. And the difference between a blanket order and a call for tender is that when you create an agreement for call for tender, is basically creating a scenario where you send out so many more than one RFQs to different vendors and expecting them to reply you with their best prices and all, and it's left for you to choose which one of them you decide to go on with the agreement with. For instance, if I were to create a purchase agreement right now in a call for tender, and I said I want to know probably the large cabinet, which is a product that's already been configured earlier, and I want to know how much a quantity of, let's say, 10 of this large cabinet is. Now, you can see that we only have the agreement type in bold, and we also have the company in bold. This is the company I represent. Now, again, since this purchase agreement is going to go through RFQs, we don't necessarily have to uh, impose the unit price that is going to be going with. So for now, we're going to confirm this, and you will notice that Odoo is going to give us a new range of options where we can create quotations or validate this particular tender or call for tender. And before we can validate this call for tender, we need to send out RFQs to different vendors. So if I click on this right hand corner, you will notice that we have 0 RFQs or orders. Now we can decide to create RFQs under this purchase agreement. Now under this purchase agreement, you notice that it has opened up a fresh page of an RFQ, and notice that it has automatically filled in the item we put in the purchase agreement, which is a large cabinet of 10 units. I want to send to, for instance, I'm going to send to three of our vendors. So I'm going to pick Azure Interior again, and send. I'm going to send by email this time, and Odoo automatically bring out an email format where I can decide to reformat this the email that I might send to each vendor, and I can decide to change the body and design it as I might want it to be. Then after I'm done, you notice that Odoo has attached the RFQ that I might have printed, attached it to the mail, and I can easily send it from here. Now, once I click on send, the status changes from RFQ to RFQ sent. Then I can decide to create another RFQ by clicking on create. Then this time I'm going to pick a Deco Addict. So Deco Addict also I'll be sending by mail to Deco Addict, and I'll be expecting to hear from Deco Addict as well as Azure Interior. They're going to give me their best prices on how much their large cabinets of 10 cost me. So I have sent 2 RFQs in respect of this purchase agreement, and you can see they are listed here. So if I were to go back to the purchase agreement, the call for tender, I'll notice that I have updated here 2 RFQs rather than 0. Now to complete this process, let's assume both parties have gotten back to us, and they've given us their prices. What we need to do is go back to the RFQs, open them, and edit the unit prices that they must have given us. And for Deco Addict, I'll say probably they told us each cabinet costs 60,000 naira. I'm going to save that. And for Azure Interior, I say probably they said their unit price is 63,000 naira. Now I'm going to save this. So logically, when you create a tender, a process for tender, you might want to choose what's best for your business in terms of the price or in terms of the quality. Now we have 2 different prices here. Deco Addit has 690,000 naira, and Azure Interior has 724,500 naira. So it depends on your decision, but naturally we go for the cheaper option, and I can decide to give it's more like creating a contract. I can decide to give this contract out to Deco Addit by confirming the order. So confirming the order is going to send is going to create an avenue for us to purchase from Deco Addit, and for Azure Interior, I can as well decide to confirm the order, but for the sake of following the classical way of creating a tender, usually they cancel every other uh, call for tender that must have been created. So for this sake, I'm just going to cancel this RFQ. So for this purchase agreement, meaning that I'm going to be contracting out this tender to Deco Addict. Now, whenever I'm to create a purchase agreement for a large cabinet, I've decided I'm going to buy it from Deco Addict because of the price Deco Addict has given me, and I've decided to go on with this 10 units. So I can decide to receive the product now. So it's just to complete the process of receiving products. Now it's going to give me a window where I need to validate how many of those products Telco Addict is delivering to me. Now, if I decide to validate without confirming how many of the units I have received, Odoo would give me a warning saying you have not recorded done quantity yet. For clicking on apply will process all quantities, meaning that if I were to click on apply, Odoo will automatically assume I got all that I have demanded for, which is 10 of the large cabinets. But for me to be able to showcase another part or interesting part of Odoo, I'm going to assume that Deco Addict only delivered about 6 of these large cabinets. Now, Odoo recognizes that I only got 6 out of 10, and if I decide to validate this, it's going to give me a range of options. Now, it's going to ask me if I want to create a back order or if I want to receive this product and not create a back order. A back order meaning that I'm going to accept the 6 units that Deco Addict is giving to me, and expect that Deco Addict is going to bring the remaining 4. But if I were to decide not to go for the back order, it means I'm going to take the 6 units he has brought to me, and I'll decide not to buy the 4 any longer. So if I were to create the back order now, what Odoo will do, it will accept these 6 and automatically create a receipt for the remaining 4, expecting the delivery of the remaining 4 large cabinets. So, but I'm going to click on no back order. So, if I were to click on no back order, it means I'm only accepting the 6 and I'm not expecting to get the remaining 4. So, Odoo has recognized that I got 6 and the remaining 4 units I'm not expecting to get them back. Now, notice that I was billed for 10 of those cabinets. If I were to go back to the purchase order, Odoo automatically changed the amount received. It's going to automatically fill in the amount received as 6, and if I were to create a bill now, it's going to create a bill for 6 rather than a bill for 10, as you can see right here. So instead of paying 690,000, I'm paying 414,000 naira. So if I'm satisfied with the bill, I can confirm and we'll go through the same process of payment. Maybe I want to pay by a bank or by cash, and obviously when we must have configured the Deco Addict, it also has the recipient bank account that automatically has popped up here. So we can just create a payment and it's going to show that it is in payment. Now, if I were to go back to our tender, it's going to show me that I have ordered 10 units, and if I were to go back to this is the tender we just created. So we have to check the status of the tender. Even though I have not validated it or confirmed it, we've started creating or ordering from our desired vendor. So I can go ahead and validate. Validate means we've had a bid selection. We've selected a particular vendor. So anytime I click on new quotation, it automatically brings out the large cabinet, and I'm going to have to click on my Deco Addict who has agreed to sell for me at uh, uh, 50 and 60,000 naira. That's the process of creating one purchase agreement, which is a tender, a call for tender. But if it were to be a purchase agreement, which is the blanket order requires that you create series of agreement with just one vendor at a particular agreement price. Now, quickly going to vendors, what Odoo will bring out for you is those vendors that you might have had, or those contacts that you might have had dealings with so far. It doesn't mean that these are the only vendors that I have, but for the fact that in this database, these are the only vendors I have that I must have created RFQs and the purchase orders for. This is the ones that Odoo will recognize for now. As you can see, it's just this part is just a filter showing me the vendor that I must have built. Now I can also, if I decide to cancel it, Odoo will show me everybody in my contacts on this database. Now I've shown you products and how you can configure a product. We can also configure a product variant. So I'm going to create some variants for the Samsung phone that we just created. So I'm going to search for it now. Yeah, this is Samsung phone. So I want to create variants for my Samsung phone. So I'm going to edit it here and go to the variants tab. Now under this variants tab, I can decide to add different variants. For instance, it could be the color. Now under the values, it asks me what type, probably white. I'm going to pick black as well. And I can decide to add more colors in case Olu doesn't recognize that I want to add more of the values of whatever variant might be. And I can add more than one attribute. I can decide, okay, probably the size might matter. So if I decide to create and edit the size, Odoo asks me how I want to add the value, what kind of values I want to add. I'm going to add probably small, medium, as well as large. So when I save this, it's going to automatically bring out the size for me. And whenever I'm about to input the values, it brings out the values that I just created. So I'm going to pick small, medium, and large. Now, so in total, we have about uh, six, three variants for the color, three variants for the size, and if we were to decide to mix, normally variants are ordered in mixes. For instance, I might have in stock white small, or white medium, or white large, black small, black medium, black large. And this in turn gives the variant a lot of numbers. So if I were to save this now, Odoo recognize variants right at the top here, and you notice that we have 9 variants. If I open it to show me that I have variants of white small, white medium, white large, black small, black medium, black large, and so on. So that's the way we create variants for our products. And in the reporting section of purchases, you can find out different ways of viewing and analyzing our purchases for different periods. You can filter them. You can filter them by confirmation date, or by order dates, by a particular year, by this year. You can measure them by quantity, taxed amount, untaxed amount, volume, and can change the looks from bar chart to a line chart to pie charts. We can also have a pivot as well as a complete graph system. So Odoo allows for flexibility when it comes to viewing and analyzing our purchases. Now this is where you can create different kind of purchase agreements, where you can see the call for tender and blank into that. If there are any other kind of purchase agreement that you might be using in your company, that might using in your company, we might decide to create it. Other settings might create other settings as they apply to you, units of measure, the category that your products might fall under, product attributes, vendors prices, which shows all your products and their quantities and as well as the prices. Quickly now, I'm going to go to the sales module. Now, just like the purchase model, where we have the process of RFQ to purchase order, we also have the process of quotation and orders. Now, quickly, I'm just going to create a quotation, and unlike the purchase model where we need to buy, this time we are actually selling what we have in our database in stock for our business. Now, this time we're going to be asked to impute a customer rather than a supplier. So if we're to impute a customer, I'll probably pick Damilola, which is one of my colleagues here. And I can pick a payment type, which is not compulsory, but payment types depends on how you want your customer to pay. It might be immediate, it might be 15 days, depending on your company's or your business policy. And then I decided I want it to be immediate. And we can also add products here. I decide to add the product, and let's say Samsung I just got. And Odoo asked me what variation of the Samsung I want to sell, because I just created variants for the product. So I can decide probably Dami wants a white large Samsung phone, and just 1 unit will do for, depending on the price I want to sell it. So I might decide to sell it because I bought it 50,000 naira. I might decide to sell it 70,000 naira, including the tax that might be applicable to it. And I can save it, and if there's any other terms and conditions that I might want to add, I can type them here, and I can type add a note below. I can add another section, probably some information that might be needed by my customer. I can then save it and I can send by email. Just to, if I send by email, it will change the status from quotation to quotation sent. But we already know how that's going to work, so I might just keep that and just confirm. The moment I click on confirm, it will skip the quotation sent to validate it as a sales order. This also applies to the purchase and the RFQs to the purchase order. Now I have created a sales order for Damilola. Now what I'm expected to do now is to deliver this item. Now before I can create an invoice, I need to identify that I have delivered the required quantity by Damilola. If I to create an invoice, Odoo will ask me how I want to create an invoice. Should I create a regular invoice, or a down payment, or a fixed amount of down payment? And I could just decide to create a regular invoice and create and view the invoice. But Odoo will give me a warning saying that I have not included the amount that quantity that I have delivered. So I can go on and edit it then. I can go on to edit my quotation. Now, generally, the procedure is for me to deliver this product and invoice my customer, which is Damilola. And Odoo is giving me a warning saying I have not included how much of the quantity that I have delivered. And usually, I'm supposed to be able to impute that number here, but um, usually this is what is going to bring out for me, and I'll be able to create an invoice. The moment I create an invoice, it's going to take me to where I can uh, receive my payment, and I can view the invoice from my sales order, then create a receipt and confirm these receipts, and decide to register the payment as well. This time I'll be receiving the payment, and I can decide to also receive it by cash or bank, and I can just decide to receive by bank and create payment, and it's also going to show in payments. Now that is also a complete cycle of the sales order, and we also have the sales team here. Sales team just shows how you can split your employees or your sales departments into teams of how you want to monitor them, and this is done by easily, probably when you want to create a sales order or quotation. Sometimes Odoo might require you to impute where you might include the sales team that is responsible for that particular uh, transaction. I also have a tab for customers. Customers meaning that whoever I must have had a transaction with regarding my sales. So invoice meaning that there are some categories of my sales order that might fall under status of to invoice, meaning I'm going to invoice them, as well as orders to upsell. Now, is a feature. Upselling is where I can decide to present to my customer that I want to sell an upgrade of the item they must have chosen to buy, and if they decide they want to buy it, I can create another to upsell. So under products, this is the same tab we have in the purchase module as well. We also have the reporting section of the sales module, and it shows almost the same thing, but as regards your sales for the month, for the year, in bar charts, in pie charts, in different measures and filters that you can tweak and decide to view them as much as you like, ascending and descending manner. In the configuration section, we find that you can configure your sales team here. We have Lagos team that is headed by Damilola. We have a budget that is headed by Afiz. And you can decide to create other sales team as you might wish to. Then the quotation templates. Um, you might have different templates for different reasons, and Odoo gives an opportunity for us to be able to create templates as well as tags. You can tag your sales under product, software, services, information, design. You can tag your your sales and attribute them to any of these tags so they can be easily analyzed by tags. And I also have the attributes, the unit of measure, and the unit of measure categories. Now I'm going to take you to the settings, and what we're going to do is now to quickly take us on the drop shipping um, analysis. So I'm going to take you to the purchase now. And as you can see under the settings, we have the purchase section is active, and if you don't have it active, just click on the small box, check it, and make sure you save the settings before you go back to your database. Now, the procedure for creating a dropship transaction is you must have created a product that is required uh, um, to be sold or bought using drop shipping. We created the Samsung phone for dropship, and I can decide to have the product as a drop shipping option. But for the sake of distinction, let's decide to use one of the items that have been created here before. So I'm going to go for the corner desk right seat. Yes, corner desk right seat. And as you can see, we don't have any units on hand. We're supposed to have units forecasted and units purchased. Now I'm going to edit this product. Now there is a particular option where I should be able to tick if I want it to be available for drop shipping. As you can see, we go under the inventory tab, we have the option to drop ship, the option to buy, and the option to manufacture. Assuming you are manufacturing it, you can decide to check this box, but for the sake of our example, we're going to check this drop ship and we will save this item. Now, we're going to create a sales order for this particular item. The sales order is going to be sold to let's say Afis this time. We're selling to Afis the corner decks right seat. Yes, and because Afis must have probably asked for three of these items, and the item comes with its own finished price of probably 147, which is not realistic, but we'll go with it. So Odoo has automatically computed the total price, the taxes, and everything for us. We can decide to confirm this sales order. Now, the moment we confirm this sales order, notice that Odoo automatically created another tab that shows purchase one. Now, because Odoo knows that we do not have this item in stock and we need to deliver to our customer Hafiz, it has automatically created for us a purchase order. Now it has created a request for quotation rather, because when creating a dropship, it requires for us to assign a vendor that we might be buying this item from. So we have Azure Interior and saved here, and we can decide to go on as well to buy from Azure Interior automatically. So once you can see that this purchase order has been, the RFQ has been created. All we need to do is just confirm this order, and we expect that Azure Interior is going to make this product ready for us. Now that we are aware that this product is ready for us, we can go back to the sales order that we created. I will notice that what Odoo has done has created another tab that shows delivery, meaning that we are expecting our vendor to deliver for us to our customer. So we can go ahead to validate the delivery to our customer. And once validation is done, Odoo will automatically assume that our vendor has delivered the item to our customer. Now, what we need to do now is to create an invoice for our customer fees, and we can decide to create and view this invoice. The moment we create and view this invoice, and we are okay with all the figures we have here and the items, so we can just confirm this and create and decide to register a payment, meaning a fees is going to pay us so that we can be able to pay our vendor. So we could register this payment and receive this payment probably by bank and then create the payment. So we're going to receive this payment in our bank, and we can then decide to go back to our sales order. Notice that we have one invoice created, meaning the invoice has the invoice our customer, we delivered the product to our customer as well, which is our fees. Now we are left to pay our vendors. We're going to go back to our purchase order, and going back to your purchase order, we need to pay uh, uh, our vendor the amount of 276 naira. So we can go ahead to receipt. This receipt has already been validated for the fact that we validated the delivery of the item to the customer. So we can create the bill and then pay our vendor. Assuming everything here is okay by us, we can confirm, then pay our vendor. Uh, you can decide to pay by the same bank and receive the money, and create the payments, and we have created we have paid our vendors. So I just showed you what I just showed you is the process of drop shipping. That is creating a product that is available for drop ship, assigning that you might need to buy that particular product from a particular vendor. So once a customer creates or decides that wants to buy that particular item, and you create a sales order, Odoo automatically create a purchase order corresponding to this reference and this sales order, and we can go ahead to validate the purchase order so that we can then purchase the item on behalf of our customer at fees. After that, we have to process the delivery of the item as well to Afis. So once that is done and Afis then pays us, we can now invoice Afis and receive our money from Afis, then go back to our purchase order to validate uh, a bill, to create a bill, then pay our customer, which our vendor, which was Azure Interior. So this is just how Odoo makes um, business processes simple and seamless. We've decided to continue to bring to you the different videos and series for you to follow on a follow up here. And the moment you can notice that we have so many modules here. So we just did a brief explanation on purchase and sales. We also have accounting. We have other modules, and subsequently we'll be creating videos that will be explaining how other modules could benefit your business and organization. So thank you for listening and watching. If you really enjoyed this video, you can give us a thumbs up and you know subscribe to our channel and expect more videos from us. And you can also leave a question for us in the chat section. You can also reach out to us. You can look for us on you can find us on LinkedIn at PSE Limited. That is the letter PSE and LTD. Thank you for having me. Have a nice day.